And we are live. Can everybody see me and hear me? Urgh. Okay, looking good. So, how is everybody? They're still showing the highlights on ESPN. They're still showing the sack montage. What's up, everybody? Yeah, Daniel Jones actually did a pretty good job escaping the sack every now and then. There were a few sacks that we probably should have gotten that he did a really good job getting out of. Yeah, Pass Rush Friday should be fun this week. Although this week it's going to be Pass Rush Saturday because I'm going to push everything back a day. I can afford to do that because we don't have a game this week. Jay, thank you for the $4.99. Go Seahawks. Love from the Discord. Well, thank you, Jay. I'm proud of the Discord. Hey, Austin. Mafe got a sack late, and he had a couple other pressures as well. He did blow contain on what should have been probably a fourth down stop, but he kind of guessed wrong and he kind of slipped. So it was kind of bad luck more than anything. He played fine. Woolen was good. He didn't do that much. Daniel Jones just checked it down the whole game and never really challenged anything. Honestly. So I don't know how many people we're going to get in here because it's kind of late. But we're obviously going to do this. Yeah, Austin. I think in order to get another emoji slot, we need another 17 members, which is going to be tough, but it's possible. Possible. Yeah, Giants offensive line. I can't believe they let Daniel Jones play as much as they did. They should have pulled him way before that. No, there was nothing wrong with that throw, Rooftop. He did do the heavy lifting, but he didn't bail out Drew Lock. Nolan Stout, thank you for the $4.99. Can we acknowledge that the all-white uniform is the best away uniform in the league? I mean, it is a pretty good uni, but there's obviously a positive association with it as well. All right, guys, so we got about 100 people in here now, so let's go ahead and just start opening it up. Seahawks played a game tonight. Sloppy start, weird start to the game, a lot of penalties on offense, but the defense came out fired up, ready to dominate. They survived the injury to Jamal Adams and went on to have one of the best defensive games in franchise history. They allowed 3 points, they allowed one really good drive the whole game, and it was the kind of performance that Pete's got to be pretty excited about. Pass rush was incredible. Defensive line played great. We stopped the run. Secondary played really well. Witherspoon was incredible. One of the best games you'll ever see any cornerback play. Offense withstood the Geno Smith injury. Drew Lock came in clutch with the one touchdown drive, getting it done over there. And the running game kicked in. Special teams went really well outside of Jason Myers missing another stupid field goal, which is really starting to get on my nerves. Right guy, thank you for the $1.99. Spoon, 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 spoon. Yeah, the people who didn't get the Witherspoon pick, hopefully You're starting to figure this out, man. Hopefully, you're starting to figure this out. Hey, Grandizer. Can we move off of Myers? I mean, you can do anything. It's going to be expensive, but at this point, he's dead to me. I just want him gone so I don't have to look at him anymore. I'm so annoyed that he gets one of the biggest kicker contracts in NFL history and then turns into a turd. Very annoying because Jake Moody, who's on a rookie deal, is killing it for the 49ers right now. But Dixon made up for it, at least, I guess. All right, so I basically ran down the game. The defense played incredible. There's really nobody on the defense who played bad. Maybe Darrell Taylor, but even Darrell Taylor I don't think played that bad. Offense, it was tough. The receivers really underachieved and didn't play well. Parkinson had a couple of penalties. So Fant was the standout at tight end. Offensive line, other than Curhan, played well. Curhan got beat up, but it wasn't really Curhan's fault. He was being left on an island. Gashun, thank you for the $1.99. Devin looked like a linebacker plus the pick six. Yeah, I remember in the offseason, a lot of Seahawks fans were like, I'm sick of people talking about how good a tackler Witherspoon is. Tackling doesn't matter for a cornerback. Are you getting it now? Are you getting it? Especially if Spoon's going to play in the slot a lot. Is this your full-time? It's not my full-time. Myers is bad every other year. This performance is around. Okay, but that's not okay. If he's going to be bad every other year, then I don't need to be giving him this monster contract. Jade, thank you for the $4.99. Why do you think we are running so much soft zone? Man it up. My best guess, and I don't agree with doing it. I think it's a really dumb thing to do, Jay. But I think that in this game, the logical reason to do it is Daniel Jones is not good enough to slowly trickle the ball down the field 5 yards at a time and put up a bunch of points. So our thought process was he'll mess up eventually. Let's just not give him any big plays and he'll mess up. And he did. Now, why we do that against other better quarterbacks who don't mess up nearly as much. That, I think, is less excusable. By the way, I think the donation GIF is a little delayed. Sorry about that. It's not delayed by that much. Maybe like 20 seconds. I love Gino, but I was kind of excited to see what Drew could do. Yeah, I get that. I get that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially when we learned that Gino's injury wasn't that serious. Do you think Gino played bad? No, I don't think Gino played bad. I think he played fine. Not good, not great, but just fine. Tan Fam, I try to explain this every week. You cannot move off of Jamal Adams. His contract is effectively guaranteed. He is here for the rest of this year and next year because we restructured him. Remember, 2 of Locke's passes were dropped. He had the JSN drop and the Lockett drop. So the receivers were not really helping him out that much. Absolutely in power. I don't see how anybody could feel anything but sorrow over that whole situation. Yeah, Mask, did Hyatt play in this game? Serious question. Did Jalen Hyatt play? I don't think he caught a pass, but did he play? JSN's drop was Locke's fault? I don't agree with that. He's got to catch that. He's got to catch that sucker. Hyatt had one catch. Okay, I don't remember it. Not more than 10? Man, their receivers are so bad, too. It's not like they have good receivers he's stuck behind. JSN's drop was thrown behind him. It still hit him in the hands. Drew Lock is a backup quarterback coming in off the bench cold. He's going to be a little inaccurate. Help your quarterback out. I understand it's not a perfect throw, but he's a backup quarterback. If you have the opportunity to catch it, help your quarterback. I don't think that's unreasonable. What's wrong with that? Yeah, I am wondering a little bit about the JSN usage, but I'm not really going to worry about it until we get our tackles back. I want to see what it looks like when we get our tackles back. Adam started out great too. He did. He did. JSN has a child's body, not fast and not strong. Well, he'll never be fast. Maybe he can get a little bit stronger, but his game is quickness. And I mean, I'm not surprised that his numbers are down. I am surprised he's a complete non-factor. Yeah, Grandizer, I kind of do a rookie watch, but I also throw in the sophomores. Foolish Gambit, thank you for the sub. Welcome. Is this the most impactful game you can remember from a corner? Pretty easily. Yeah, Empower, I feel like being the internet has made fans incredibly impatient because they're plugged into every little thing that happens. So they have no, like in the old days, and the internet was still around during this time, by the way. I'm talking like 20 years ago. You were told you could not evaluate a rookie until year 3. Now we evaluate rookies in preseason, and we make judgments on these guys purely based off of like rookie minicamp garbage. Jones didn't even look Woolen's way. Well, there was the one play that Woolen almost picked it off, but the receiver was able to kind of like act like a defensive back. With Witherspoon saying he likes nickel more, do you think we keep him and just rotate Jackson and Brown at left corner? That's kind of what I wanted to do this season. I kind of wanted to do that. The issue is our team's just going to start playing base to get Witherspoon off the field, and we might need Witherspoon to play outside in base and then nickel in nickel. I'm praying they keep Olu at center and Bradford. I don't like Olu at center because it means Evan Brown's going to play guard, which I'm not a fan of. Mm. Brown seemed tiny at guard. Yeah, Brown, like, we got to get somebody better if these injuries are going to be serious. Because they did say that Phil Haynes aggravated his previous calf injury, so that could actually be serious. That's the one injury tonight that has a chance of being somewhat serious. I'm not saying that it is, but it could be. I'm aware of the possibility. Yeah, that was the best this defense has looked in quite some time. Yeah, Bradford's way better than expected. Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be this good this early. And I'm not saying he's great or anything, but he's effective. The JSN hate is because Rams got Puka in the fifth and Bobo was a UDFA and both are better. Bobo is not better than JSN. I'm sorry, guys. Slow your roll. Bobo is a very specialized player. Like, I know Bobo is fun, but he's very specialized. You think JSN is having trouble getting open right now? Believe me, Bobo's going to find himself in a lot of situations where he can't get open either. Finally, this is our defense when it all comes together. Do you think if we are healthy, we are a top 5 defense? Not really. The Giants offense is pretty irredeemably bad. Like let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. That game was an indictment on the Giants offense as well, especially their offensive line. Is Witherspoon going to get defensive rookie of the year? If he keeps playing like this, easily. If he keeps playing like this, he's going to be one of the best defensive rookies in recent history. Okay, that's enough of that, Spencer. I don't know why you people think things like that is funny, but it's not. If you're not a preteen who watches Shane Dawson, that shit's not funny. JSN will be fine. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I do think it's a little bit disturbing that he's a non-factor, but I have some understanding of it. And Gino needs to look his way at the end of the day. Daryl Taylor's definitely gotten some pressures this year, Daniel. Um, he got one in the first game, one in the second game. He's gotten some pressures this year, 100%. Thoughts on how Locke played when he stepped in? Given the fact that he's a backup who came in off the bench cold, I thought he played fine. He made one big play. He had the nice run. He hit a couple passes. Like, I don't think you can ask for that much more from a guy who comes in off the bench cold. Do you think the Seahawks will make a trade? And if so, who can it be? I talked about a few guys in the video I made last week, but it's probably going to be some mid-level defensive lineman. I mean, I'm streaming right now. Feed me more, right? Do you think DK will reach over 1,200 yards this season? I think so, but I'm not sure. That could be tight. There could be more games like this where the offense is just kind of slow and they just kind of end up running out the clock at a certain point. Okay. So now that we've gotten almost 300 people in here, I'll go through the spiel. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. We're going to stream for probably like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours for this post game after the Giants. If you want to help support while we're doing this, there are many things you can do. You can like the stream. We have 51 likes right now and almost 300 people in here. You can subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks updates. We make like 3-4 videos a day about Seahawks stuff, news, updates, things like that. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. If you want to go beyond that, you can become a channel member for $2 or $5 or $15 a month. Gain access to various perks like member badges, emojis, and I'm more likely to answer questions that you leave in the chat because the messages pops out more clearly to me because of the nature of the badging. You can donate via Super Chat. click the $ next to the chat window, or you can tip. You can click the link near the top of the description to a tip via PayPal, through PayPal. You can also become a Patreon. I have a link to my Patreon down in the description if you want to pledge that way. Yeah, that's really about it. I'm going to answer as many comments in the chat as I can. If you donate your comment, it's guaranteed that I'll see it and read it. Otherwise, it'll be kind of random luck. I'm going to answer what I can. I'm not going to be able to get to everything because of how fast the chat moves. That's about it. Thank you. I thought about joining your draft coverage is really good. Well, thank you, Grandizer. I appreciate that. Can't wait to do it again next year. Wait a minute. Alan A. just became a member. I don't see the pop-up in chat, so that's kind of weird, but apparently Alan A. just became a member. So thank you. Derek Hall played today. I saw him get pressure on at least one play. He was definitely out there. How bad is Adams' concussion? I mean, a concussion's always bad, but apparently there's no reason to believe it's a special concussion, so he'll probably be back for the Bengals game. The only injury in this game that looks like it could be serious is Phil Haynes. And I know a lot of people won't be that sad about Phil Haynes. I would be, but a lot of people wouldn't. Brendan, give Myers a few more games. I mean, pretentious Cameron, we don't have time. All right? Eventually we're going to play a game where these kicks cost us the game. He tried to cost us the game in Detroit. And honestly, he was a big part of the reason why we couldn't put the Giants away earlier than we did. That whole game changed because he missed that field goal. I'm kind of sick. I'm kind of already over it. He's already kind of dead to me. Like, what happened with Damian Lewis? He twisted his ankle. I don't think it's that bad, but we'll find out more later. I'm so glad the Jamal haters are not in here. They're around. They're definitely around. Gino was mad. Yeah, he was. I don't know. What do you guys think? Was the hit on Gino dirty? What do you guys think? Initially, I didn't think it was, but it's possible. And a lot of people said they think it was. Okay, seems like people are relatively split so far. Can we get out of the Myers contract? Not really. I mean, you can eat it. I mean, it wasn't a horse collar. He didn't grab the horse collar. But maybe it was. I mean, we're not completely out of the woods there. Because, like, Joe Burrow's a great example, right? Joe Burrow's a great example. He's playing, but he's not right. He missed a 53-yarder. Got to let that one go. The issue was going for it on fourth down. He should be able to hit a 53-yarder. He's like the second highest paid kicker in the NFL. That's not okay. I'm not going to say, oh, it's a 53-yarder, so it's okay he missed. No. That's not how this works. You don't get that contract and then become some guy who I'm cool with missing a 53-yard field goal. And the real problem was going for it on fourth down. Well, that was correct. We were correct to go for it on fourth down because Myers has missed 2 short field goals already this year anyway. So why is it good for us to have him kick a shorter field goal when he's already shown that he's fully capable of missing those as well? So I'm not buying it. Should have run it on that 4th and 1? Yeah, maybe. I mean, Charbonnet probably should have caught it, right? Charbonnet had a good chance to catch it. He probably should have just caught it. I did see that Feed Me More Seahawks. What do you do about Myers? Probably nothing. You know, Pete is probably just like, hey, he'll be okay. He'll figure this out. It's fine. Everybody calm down. That's the way he is about these things. The thing is, after Gino catches the ball, he's not a quarterback anymore. He's a receiver. So they treat him like a receiver, not a quarterback, when he's getting hit out of bounds there. So I kind of feel like that is the reason why they didn't throw a flag. Now, I don't know, maybe it should have been flagged anyway, but when you consider the fact that at that point he's a receiver after the catch, I get it. What was Reed's status? Not significant. Expected to be back week 6. Expected to not miss any games. Well, no, pretentious Cameron. I don't think we move off him. I think it's Pete's nature to just say, we're just going to keep him there. We're going to keep him there. We're going to keep him there. We're going to keep him there. And either he snaps out of it or he doesn't. Thank you, Empower. I appreciate that. Yeah, Gino definitely should have knocked it down. That's definitely true. I'm sure he's aware of that. I will say, in general, I thought the refs sucked. Like, I don't know how they overturned the K9 touchdown on the first play. I understand that it's possible his butt hit the ground, but you can't tell me that was in any way conclusive. Like, if it had been called down on the field, I would understand that, but the fact that they overturned it based on the angles that we saw, well, it wasn't the elbow, it was the butt. If his butt hits the ground, he's down. And maybe his butt was down, but you can't tell me there was anything conclusive. But to me, overturning that is very sus. The holding call on Phil Haynes on the play where he got hurt was crap. He just got bulldozed. That's not holding. That's just him getting dominated. Oh yeah, the DJ Dallas shove. Like what the heck was up with that? Which site do we join where majority of the membership fees go to you as opposed to the site, your YouTube or your Patreon? Patreon's definitely better in terms of what the creator gets. Patreon and tipping is the best. You can tip through Stream Elements, link in the description, or pledge to the Patreon. Those are very close. YouTube takes a much bigger cut. Yeah, the elbow was on the Giants player elbow. The only thing that was maybe down was his butt, and I'm not convinced. How do you think Diggs did today? Not crazy impressed early on, but we didn't let up any big plays, right? Daniel Jones never beat us deep down the field. That's Diggs' job at the end of the day, so I guess he did fine, and he got the pick. Game was already over when he got the pick, though. Anything about Damian Lewis? Twisted ankle. Doesn't sound too serious. Thank you, Grandizer. Are you and Hawksnest doing streams next week? Well, we're going to do the post-game stream this week for this game, and then we're going to do the pregame stream for the next game next week, so we're going to miss some streams, but of course. Why wasn't Jones throwing the ball? Because that's how he plays. He plays very safely and conservatively. That's just how he plays. It's a mental thing. He can physically throw deep down the field. Okay, but all seriousness, Jamal on one side at the line of scrimmage, Witherspoon on the other side, line of scrimmage is going to be a problem for running backs and quarterbacks. They both can blitz and stop the run. Oh yeah, I'm very excited for it. And as a Seahawks fan, everybody should be excited for it. Do we kick Peters inside if we get Abe Lucas back depending on Lewis and Haynes? Has Jason Peters ever played inside in the NFL? To my knowledge, he's only played tackle. Maybe, but Phil Haynes is playing well this year. Lewis is a decent player. Evan Brown's playing pretty good. So, like, if these guys can just get healthy, I think we have something. So I'm not really trying to hurry those guys off stage to get Jason Peters out there. Everyone is a second stringer, and Evan Brown is technically a second stringer at left guard. Yeah, and other than Curhan, the offensive line played good. Curhan was the only guy who I thought didn't play that well. And Curhan, it's not really his fault, right? You leave him one-on-one against Thibodeau, he's going to win some battles. I didn't love what Waldron did today. I think he did good, but Waldron could have done better. Do you think Abe Lucas will be ready for week 6? No, he's on IR. He can't be ready for week 6. He can only come back after the Bengals game. And he probably will, but he can't come back for the Bengals game. He's going to come back for the Cardinals. Why do people keep coming in and asking stuff about my ethnicity lately? It's the same person being an idiot, isn't it? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, maybe Jamal made a mistake on that play, but him getting hurt on that play is extremely unlucky. What would you have done differently from Waldron? I wouldn't have left Curhan on an island so much, and I would throw the screenplays out of the playbook. They don't work. I would stop running screens. You can't tell me we're running them really well in practice and then they never work in the game. So they're not working in practice. Until they start working in practice, I would take all the screens out of the playbook. Yeah, the Jamal Adams concussion is just garbage luck, guys. Come on. There's a huge false equivalency between all the injuries he had a couple years ago or even last year and the concussion that he sustained tonight. Michael Jackson and JSN were training camp darlings. What happened? I don't know, Jackson. The Michael Jackson thing I can't figure out. But JSN is just, I think, situationally, this is not good for him. Yeah, PFF should be interesting this week. We probably won't get pressure data from PFR until Thursday. I might have to expand Pass Rush Friday so I do PFF and PFR because some people really don't like PFF, but if I start doing PFF only, it's going to get way too overzealous. PFF is out of pocket sometimes. Well, the defense definitely won't play like this again this year. The defense definitely isn't going to play like this ever again this year. That was a rarefied game made possible by this absolute god-awful Giants offense. But, I mean, I don't know if the Rams offense is that much better, and they destroyed our defense. So just because the opposing offense is good doesn't mean that you're going to be fine. I wish Noah Fan had scored that touchdown. Not that it's not a big deal. I wish Noah Fan had scored that touchdown though. Should we leave Witherspoon in the slot? Well, you can still do the thing where Witherspoon plays outside in base and then slides inside in nickel. That's what like Byron Murphy Jr. does. There are a couple other players who do it as well. It's not that uncommon. So if you put Witherspoon outside in base and then slide him inside in nickel, he's always on the field and he's always being put in a good situation, I think. So that's what I would do. I mean, he's showing that he's ready, right? Like watching Witherspoon play, there's nothing there that's like, oh, he's hurting because he missed camp in preseason. No. There's no indication that he's struggling because he missed so much of the offseason. Thoughts on Locke? I'm proud of him. It wasn't perfect, but I'm proud of him. Receivers weren't doing a great job of helping him out. And He made a few big plays on that drive, and got it. We got a touchdown out of it. JSN might have had 2 drops. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2. Thank you, Hawk's Eye View. I think the incompletions on Locke were more so the chemistry. Well, he had 2 drops. The accuracy's not perfect. But we needed those receivers to help their quarterback out a little bit. Brett Stout, the only injury that I think might be serious is Phil Haynes. And I'm not, like, saying that it definitely is. It might be. I think everything else is relatively minor. Yeah, I said on X tonight, I wonder how many Jalen Carter comments I'm going to get on YouTube this year. Probably won't be very many, but it's probably still going to be too many. Yeah, Gino had the 1 penalty. Alright, enough of this. I'm not dealing with this anymore. But if you get, I mean, if the Jalen Carter people can't understand that we're getting something pretty special going here with Witherspoon, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, this guy is killing it in every regard. Like, I hope people understand that when you're rooting for a team in the draft, it's not the standard is not they need to take the best player available at every possible moment. It's they need to take good players. Okay? The problem with us not taking Creed Humphrey is not the fact that we didn't take Creed Humphrey. The problem is we took D. Eskridge. Like, if we had taken Amon-Ra St. Brown instead of Creed Humphrey, nobody would be mad about that. Yeah, he's not as good as Creed Humphrey, but nobody would be mad about it. People are mad about it because D. Eskridge is useless. Yeah, we tied the franchise record. 11 sacks. Honestly, Daniel Jones did well to not get sacked like 16 times. Jay, thank you for the $4.99. Spoon has more sacks than Carter. He's really good on that blitz. I do wonder if he might be able to, like, get a lot more sacks this year. And I know it's not the same as Carter, who's providing interior rush on every play, but whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, look at how impactful this stuff is. Somebody on the Raiders, Nitro Hawk, I think. Seahawks are number 6 for points per game. Yeah, still a good offense, and that's with a bum kicker. Brendan, at the beginning of the year, is this about where you thought we would be right now, 4 games in? Yeah, Barry. I thought the Giants were going to be good, so obviously that didn't work. I thought the Giants were going to be good. They're obviously not. I legit feel bad for Jones. He's getting blamed for a bad O-line. Yeah, this is tough. This is a tough situation, man. I don't know what to say about it. New snapper equals bad timing? I don't think so, Parker. I don't see any problem with our timing. I think the long snapper's doing a great job so far. Somehow ESPN doesn't credit Draymond Jones with a QB hit in this game. I could have sworn he hit the quarterback like twice. Can't believe the fans walked out in the third. I can. It should not be possible for an offense to be this bad in 2023. It should be impossible for an NFL offense to be this bad in 2023. Think about how inept they've been outside of that 25-minute come-to-Jesus moment against the Cardinals. Draymond Jones absolutely hit the QB at least a couple times, I think. That pick six happened because of all the pressure he was getting. It was a bad throw, straight up. It was a bad throw. I can admit that. All right, see you later, Empower. What's your guess for PFR pressures? 18. Okay, I know this is completely off topic, but I do have to ask, what is up with Jimmy Butler's hair? He has to know what that hair is, right? He has to know. I guess he's trying to send a message here, but man. Like, he's trying to say he's sad because they didn't get Dame. But he doesn't look sad. He looks like he looks, you know, he's got the Karen look going. Karens aren't sad. Giants played well in defense today. I did say in the pregame video, we're going to get the Giants' best shot on defense because that defense is not as bad as they played so far. Yeah. We're not going to get very many sacks on Burrow, though. Burrow's doing a really good job getting the ball out of his hands quickly right now. Burrow basically gets the ball, looks up, and throws it every time. He's doing a really good job of just like, do. So we might not get any sacks on Joe Burrow. He knows what the mission is right now. Just survive. But if we play our cards right, they're not going to be able to do anything on our defense because they can't actually make any real plays. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that big country. Like, Browning has no arm. He does actually have underrated mobility. Shay, thank you for the sub. Welcome to the channel. Like, Browning has mobility that Burrow does not have right now. And you guys saw it. The one thing the Giants did on offense tonight that kind of worked was Daniel Jones's mobility. He was actually pretty good at using his legs to buy time and pick up yards as well and evade pressure. So that seems like something that could be a problem for our defense. Reed should have had a pick too. Yeah. I can't remember who the receiver was on that play, but he did a good job disrupting it. Yeah. I mean, Daniel's not really a good quarterback, but he is tough, and he's trying out there. He has a good attitude about this. He's trying. He's just not that good. Maldonado, I'm not really going to talk about the Mariners yet. And if I did talk about the Mariners, I wouldn't have much good to say. So I got to be honest. I don't want to discuss that at the moment. What's my go-to for fast food? Five Guys. Honestly, at this point, Five Guys is not even that much more expensive than other fast food. Like that's the thing people used to say, Five Guys is too expensive. It's not anymore. It's really not compared to almost any other fast food place. It's a little more expensive. Are you going to upload less videos now that both the Hawks and Huskies are on bye weeks? I think I have to. There's not going to be as much to talk about. Like, how can I possibly keep making videos? I'm going to make what needs to be made, and that's really all I can do. Who is Edwards with the fumble? You mean Mario Edwards? What would you rank Five Guys and Shake Shack out of 10 for fast food burgers at least? Oh, Five Guys is a 10. I've never had Shake Shack. Never had Shake Shack. Never had In-N-Out. Went to McDonald's the other day and I should have just went to a sit-down restaurant. Yeah, when I go out to eat, I don't even think about money anymore. You have to. You can't think about money when you eat out right now. And the only places that don't, like, completely destroy your wallet would be like Popeyes, because at Popeyes you can get the chicken sandwich for $5. So you can do Popeyes. You can do Taco Time. Taco Time is still pretty well priced. That's it. Everywhere else is like, you better just be ready to get it in the wallet. I'm not sure, Austin. Maybe. Yeah, Corey, that's what I'm hearing as well. Have you had Big Chicken? No. Yeah, did we get Edwards this year, or what's the history? Yeah, we signed him late in the offseason. He's on basically a minimum contract. Burrow's been bad because of his injury, 100%. He can't move in the pocket, and he can't really throw accurately down the field. Would you make a DK this game? He was sleepwalking through that first 14 minutes. Like, there was some boneheaded stuff. The holding in front of the entire goddamn world was ridiculous. And then stepping out of bounds running his route. But the touchdown grab was nice. And then he was pretty quiet the rest of the game. It was whatever. It was one of those games for the offense where it wasn't going to be anything over the top. I don't know why you say that, pretentious Cameron. They lost to the Niners. They lost to the Bengals with wounded Joe Burrow. They're currently the only team the Bengals have beaten. And then they needed overtime to beat the Colts, who are probably not a good team this year. Like, I don't know if they're not legit. They're just not terrible. They're not terrible like I thought they were going to be, but you can't tell me they're legit. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Burrow. He's the franchise, man. You got to sit that guy down. Yeah, Mario Edwards has been nice and solid. I'm happy. He's already earned his money this year, I think. Giants haven't forced a turnover. I think the Steelers did that like 10 years ago. They had like the first 4 games of the year, they had 0 turnovers. I remember people talking about that. Who's the best team in the NFL right now? Honestly, even though they lost, I feel like it's the Bills. The Bills have an incredible defense, and Josh Allen's gotten his crap straight after the first game. Like, I actually think it might be the Bills. Yeah, Niners are the only other team that I think could be there. Niners. I don't know. I feel like if the Niners played the Bills, I would pick the Bills. No, running backs almost never get MVPs now. Do you know how hard it is? There's going to be a quarterback that gets MVP. Probably Tua. Mahomes could make a late push. But I think we're basically at that phase in the NFL where a quarterback wins MVP 98% of the time. We should be able to rack up 3 wins against the Browns, Cardinals, and Bengals. That Browns defense is really good, though. That Browns defense is no joke. Bill Belichick winning MVP? What are you talking about? That's not how this works. Any chance Wilson gets comeback player over Hamlin? I don't think so. And, I mean, Wilson is still losing most of his starts, and the Broncos are probably going to have, like, 4 wins this year. So I don't really see how he should be getting comeback player of the year. I'm really not that impressed. Bill Belichick for MVP last year? I mean, the league wouldn't even allow that, so that can't happen. Scarecrow Bar, thank you for the $2. Why leave K9 in at the end just to pad stats? Risky. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I'm not really... We did that at the end of the first half as well, and I don't know... I don't know what to say about that. That one confused me as well. Gino going back in the game when it was over also surprised me because he had already dealt with an injury. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. How does your mic not catch the sound of you coughing? I use noise cancellation software. I have noise cancellation software that wipes that out. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. One thing I saw on X, one theory was that we were trying to give Gino more time to rest before the second half. That's honestly the best theory I can come up with. Is Bill Belichick on the hot seat? Seems like he should be. I think so. But Bill Belichick has done so much. Maybe he just has a golden ticket forever. Like, it wouldn't shock me if... I mean, think about, like, Mike Tomlin. Think about Mike Tomlin. The Steelers have already basically said it doesn't matter what he does, we're never going to fire him. There's like a 0% chance we ever fire Mike Tomlin. He's going to be here until he retires. Deal with it. And what has Mike Tomlin done? It wouldn't shock me if New England was like, look, I don't care if we go 0-17, we're not firing Bill Belichick. Get over it. If Waldron gets a job, can we promote Dickerson to OC and keep him? Well, Waldron might take Dickerson with him, is the thing. Right? Like, he could take Dickerson with him. If not, then I think he's the guy, very clearly. Oh, it's pretty much a 10, Gerb the Nerb. I love this bye week. Does it make you sick that the retro jerseys are only going to get busted out for Thursday games? Nah, I'm good with it. You don't want to bust them out too much. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. He's also only had like one season in the last 13 years where the Steelers made any kind of a deep playoff run. Do you follow politics? Any interests? Some. I don't know why you want me to talk about that right now, though. Looks like our former Seahawks players aren't really performing that well in their new teams. Overall, I think that's probably accurate, yeah. Penny's not doing anything. Witherspoon is special. I haven't seen another player like him. I was trying to tell people he's a really interesting player. We just needed to utilize him correctly. And we're at least doing enough on that front for him to be majorly impactful. Do you think we might have a chance to beat the Niners on Thursday night Thanksgiving game? Not if we play soft zone. That's what Purdy eats up. We got to challenge Purdy. I think the Cowboys this week are going to give a little bit of a blueprint on how to stop Purdy. But we're probably going to need to look at what the Cowboys do to the Niners and try to emulate it on defense. How would you grade this free agent class so far for the Seahawks? I mean, you got to kind of give it an A+ because Jaron Reed is outliving his contract by so much. And I know Draymond's not been amazing, but he's been good. Like, Draymond's been good so far. I'm happy with him. Locke, I don't know how to evaluate Locke, but he did come in and do some positive things in this game. Where do you rank Purdy in quarterback in the NFL? Somewhere around 13 or 14, if I had to guess. I'd have to look at a list. Is this the best starting cornerbacks we have ever had? I mean, we're headed that way. I'm not going to say we're there yet. Yeah, Cameron Young was pretty good today. He's not really a playmaker, but he does his job and doesn't afraid of anything. How'd you feel about Spoon playing in the slot? I've said it all along. I don't have a problem with it. I'd love for him to play outside in base and inside in nickel. But if we just want him to play nickel, then he's still going to play almost all the snaps. Teams force you to go nickel constantly in the NFL. Would you rather keep Fant or Disley? We're not keeping Fant. We're not keeping Fant. Fant is going to get like 15 to 17 million a year. I think pretty easily. No chance we keep Fant. Witherspoon is LOB like he's an Earl at CB. Yeah, that's a pretty good comp. How do you think the Hawks will play against the Ravens? Lamar is going to be a problem. It seems like the running quarterbacks are something that we could have a little bit of an issue with. That's like the one thing that can get us. Who is the higher ceiling, Woolen or Spoon? Woolen will probably never be as good of a tackler as Spoon is. Woolen might not ever be a good tackler, honestly. Yeah, I don't even think we could afford Fant, honestly. We're going to have issues affording our draft class next year. So much money's already committed. Yeah, Lamar's on the in the MVP hunt. I still think Tua would win it as of right now, but ton of time for that to change. Should they move Bobo to full-time tight end next year? I don't think so. I mean, at the end of the day, if you play him, if you move him to tight end, you're still going to play him in the slot a ton. He's just going to be like a Jimmy Graham. Do you think JSN should get some Lockett reps when they go two receivers? No. Lockett still has a lot of good stuff to give. Yeah, but Reek only started playing cornerback a few years ago, so it's going to take a while for him to get up to snuff as a tackler, I think. After this game, to you, any Seahawks player stock up, stock down? I mean, I think stock up is pretty clearly just everyone on the defense, except maybe Darrell Taylor. Stock down, I mean, Jamal Adams got hurt, so you kind of have to list him. Anybody who got hurt, maybe Jake Curhan a little bit, but overall, nothing big. The tackling was great, but the Giants just kept serving their guys up on a platter. Daniel Jones was the one guy who was making guys miss. Like, Daniel Jones was actually a problem for our pass rush to bring down at times. No, we're not getting Lucas back until after the Bengals game. He was put on IR, meaning he has to miss 4 games. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a little bit of stuff you can call JSN out for, but overall, I'm not worried about it. Big picture, people. How do you feel about the Bengals matchup versus the Seahawks with their early struggles this season? Well, it doesn't seem like Burrow can really do anything, so it should be pretty elementary to just. I mean, I hate to say it. The problem is, if we play a lot of soft zones, Burrow's just going to pick us apart. Because all he can do is throw short, but if we give him short stuff, it's going to be way too easy. Adams needs to take a year off. He already did. Adams already took a year off. Thoughts on Charbonnet tonight? Solid. He did drop that 4th down pass, but overall fine. Him dropping that pass is disappointing because he's a good pass catcher, generally speaking. Yeah, we need to play aggressively in coverage in that game because Burrow cannot throw downfield at all. Like, Burrow, I don't even know if he's physically capable of throwing it more than 25 yards down the field right now. And when he does, it has no accuracy. It's kind of sad. Colby has become a really good blocker. Yeah, a few people have pointed that out. They're showing all the Daniel Jones sacks again. I wish Draymond got one, but he got some pressures, so it's fine. Draymond, I thought looked pretty good. So that injury, whatever it was, doesn't seem like it's destroyed him. I really hope the Bengals win their next game against the Cardinals. That way they're not completely desperate against us. I don't want to play the Bengals when they're 1-4. Bradford's PFF grade is going to get destroyed by the penalties. How many penalties did Bradford have? Was it 2 or 3? You look like it right now, Darian Gibson. Adams will be back in Cincy. He was pissed off and not happy about the doctor's ruling. Yeah. He'll probably not miss any games. That's the thing that needs to be kept in mind right now. Are you a Halloween guy? I need a good scary movie to watch. I don't watch very many scary movies. I play scary games sometimes. I'll probably play some horror games on Twitch this month because it's October. Like last year I did this really, really stupid Five Nights at Freddy's mod that replaced all the animatronics with Breaking Bad characters for Halloween. I'll probably do something like that this year. Maybe I'll do Separate Ways, the Resident Evil 4 DLC. Is Alan Wake 2 coming out this month? Man, I completely forgot about that. I like the first Alan Wake. Interesting game. Yeah, I mean, I like what Phil Haynes is doing this year, but if he actually is seriously injured, like I'm a little afraid of, it's not the end of the world thanks to Bradford. Just wait until we're at our full potential, Brendan. I think we can truly be a force. It's hard to get up to your full potential in the NFL, though. Injuries happen every week. Oh, hope you had fun, Fat Black. Sounds fun. We didn't see that many soft zone coverage. I thought we actually ran a lot of soft coverage, but the strategy against this team makes at least some sense, I guess, because Daniel Jones is not going to be able to trickle the ball down the field consistently like that, and it worked. We only allowed 3 points. But at the same time, I'm like, these Giants receivers kind of suck, and Daniel Jones doesn't really push the ball down the field. He's got no offensive line. Why not play more aggressively? Yeah, Haynes is done next year, I have to believe, for many reasons. Even if you think Phil Haynes is good, which I do think he's playing well so far this year, he's too injury prone. Wow, I think I made my most liked tweet or X or Zeet or whatever I've ever made. Wow. Do we have a chance of beating the 49ers? I'm sure. I don't know how realistic a possibility it is. But I still don't think Purdy's all that. Is this Bobby's last year? He does look kind of slow, doesn't he? But he can still do some stuff. He's still good at some stuff. I mean, Purdy's obviously pretty decent, but I don't think he's some great quarterback. I don't think he's nearly as good as he's looked so far. Yeah, Locke definitely didn't look better than Geno. Whoever said that, man. The Geno haters really are on pack watch, looking for any opportunity to jump on him. I don't get it. Any thoughts on the controversial call at the end of Sunday Night Football? It's not controversial. Sauce grabbed him. Why is that controversial? Sauce grabbed him out of his break. Just because Sauce always gets away with it doesn't mean that it's a bad call when he finally doesn't get away with it. Now, they missed the holding call on Mahomes' 25-yard run. Yeah. But there's holding on every play in the NFL, and the NFL arbitrarily decides when to call it and when to not. That's always been true. So, deal with it. Do you have any idea how much bad karma Sauce Gardner has for all the crap he gets away with? Do you think a trade for a solid defensive lineman will put us at Super Bowl level? I'm not getting the sense that we're interested in trading for a solid defensive lineman. I think we like what we have, and I guess it can work as long as we stay healthy. I don't know why we're okay being this thin, but we're not even replacing Mike Morris. Hey, Kyle. If it is Bobby's last year, I think it's a good year. Also, I think Purdue earned being a decent, good QB. Still love the Hawks, but not bad. Oh, yeah, he's not bad. He's at least better than Jimmy Garoppolo, and Jimmy Garoppolo's still a starter in this league, as much as he sucks and shouldn't be. Like Aiden O'Connell looks no different than Garoppolo. Think about that. How's Brooks so far this year? I think Brooks has looked pretty good so far this year. I don't know if we're going to keep him. He might cost a lot of money that I'm not willing to give him, but more than that, we just don't have a lot of money right now, guys. We've invested all this money into guys like Draymond Jones, Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, shoot. If we keep Will Dissly, then I guess you would throw him in as well. Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs. Like, there's not a lot of money to go around. You do realize Jimmy G got those rings as a backup, right? The problem with Brooks is he can't handle play calling. He can't handle the play calling. He just needs to play. Yeah, Adams will be back in a couple weeks. I'm not worried about that. It sucks. I already made the final Mariners video I'm going to make, Bill. I uploaded it earlier today. I'm not making more Mariners videos until something happens. Yeah, David Witherspoon had one of the best games you'll ever see any cornerback play. Do you think Geno's an elite QB? No, he's not elite, but I'm okay with that because he didn't take elite QB money. Wagner is the Peyton Manning of the defense. We need him for at least 2 more years. I don't know if he's got that in him. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, he put up monster stats so far this year, but I don't know how much of that is a good thing. Will you follow the baseball playoffs at all? A little bit, Bill. I'm not super into it. I got to be honest. Do you think we can upset the Niners? I mean, sure. Is it a realistic possibility? I'm not so sure, but again, I think Purdy at some point is going to get exposed. I don't know if this defense is the one that can do it, but I have a feeling the Cowboys got something for him next week. Does your channel have the most subs of all Seahawks content creators? Does this matter to you? Why or why not? Your coverage stands alone. Super content. Definitely not, Grandizer. I do not have as many subs as Norbcam, just for one. There are probably a couple others as well who I don't have as many subs as. But I definitely don't have as many subs as Norbcam. Not even close. Does this matter to you? I mean, I like having subs. Subs are cool. But I actually see a lot of football YouTubers or sports YouTubers that have a lot of subs and nobody watches their videos. Like, there are some guys out there that have 4,000 subs and their videos get like 60 views each. So views matter way more. I realize that. Why or why not? I mean, the reason why it doesn't really matter to me that much is because subs are not really what counts as much as views. Do you think we look to draft a QB this year, maybe Sam Hartman? I don't know who Sam Hartman is, and I'm following the quarterbacks in this upcoming year very closely because I do think we will draft one. How healthy do you think the Hawks come out of the bye? It looks like we're going to get everyone except Lucas back, and obviously not Mike Morris because he's out for the year. Maybe not Kenny McIntosh. Do you think you will do any film breakdown or analysis? Every time I do it, YouTube just kicks me in the balls. So I usually don't do it. One time I tried to do a stream where we were going to do film study on some receivers in the draft, and YouTube just shut the stream down. So I gave up on it. William Weir, thank you for the $20 super sticker. Thanks for being you. Well, thank you, William. Appreciate the support. My least favorite Seahawks content creator is Rob Stanton. Such a Geno hater. I don't really think Rob is a Geno hater. He's just a Geno realist. He was a Geno hater before Geno started playing good, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. What's your opinion of the D? I'm not expecting the defense to be great this year. I think it can be decent. But today was a big step in the right direction. There's no doubt about that. Notre Dame quarterback. Okay, I'm not following him at all. Not familiar with him remotely. Norbcam is a super fan, not an analyst. I know. I know, but he's a Seahawks YouTuber. Concussions are usually 2 weeks, so he might not miss any games. Explain 11 sacks. I mean, that Giants offensive line is pretty putrid, ain't it? And Daniel Jones is not quite good enough to make up for it. I would expect Jamal to be back for the next game. Lester Cross, thank you for the $2. Happy for Russ. I got tired of his sad face. I mean, the sad face is still there. He's on one of the worst teams in the league. And he went to Denver because he thought that team was positioned to win Super Bowls now. And now he's on one of the worst teams in the league, despite him playing pretty decently. Like, there's nothing happy about Russell's situation. Him beating a terrible Bears team in a pretty fluky manner, by the way, is not, like, making him feel good about himself. I'm pretty sure he's sitting there thinking, like, I could have gone to Philly, and I would have won the Super Bowl by now, probably. And he must think about that sometimes and just think about how awful this is. Like, he had everything he could have wanted set up perfectly for him, and he just decided, I don't want it. I'd rather go to... I think Denver's going to be better than Philly for some reason. Are you still following Russell Wilson's career? I mean, I watch most NFL games, so I follow kind of everything. I mean, after Norb, it might be you, Brendan. Your vids usually are high in the queue after games and during the week. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't follow it that closely. I don't have time to watch other Seahawks video makers. I barely have time to do what I'm doing. So I don't follow them super closely. But I'm guessing there's at least one other guy out there who has more subs than me. But subs don't matter. Views matter. So, eh. I don't know. The truth is I know it. I think my voice is pretty bad. I don't like my voice. But you know how your voice sounds different to you than it does to anyone else? The biggest Seahawks content creator is the Seahawks channel. Well, that doesn't count. Can you build a better space shuttle? Probably not. Philly wouldn't have been this good. They wouldn't have A.J. Brown for one, but they still would have had the incredible offensive line and the incredible defense. What is your full-time job? I'm a software developer. Do we go MLB if B-Wags retires? At some point, I think we will, either way. Remember, guys, B-Wags is a free agent after this season. He might not retire and then go to another team. Like, I don't know. He probably has some kind of hometown team he rooted for when he was a kid that he might go to. Maybe he goes to the Raiders. Like, that's possible, too. We don't have a lot of money to work with here. I feel like Witherspoon can be an all-pro cornerback and an all-pro free safety if he decides he wants to switch positions. I don't know about the safety thing. That's hard to tell sometimes, but he looks like an all-pro corner in the making, I will say that. Do you bet on sports games? I used to do it all the time, but technically I'm not supposed to because I live in Washington State. So now I just do it when I go to Vegas or when I go to the EQC sportsbook, where you can legally do it. How do you juggle your full-time job with YouTube and Twitch? It ain't easy. So Gino is still insisting that it was a dirty play. He's going to die on that hill. I don't know. If Seahawks Brendan Nelson were to pat you on the back, you would list it on your resume. Do you use free software like Linux to produce your videos? No, I've never gotten into the Linux thing. I'm way too used to Windows. Ironic, the biggest offensive player of the game was by two ex-Broncos players. Yeah, Noah Fant's good. People hate on that guy too much. Like, Brandon of the Hawks Nest, we talked a lot this offseason. He was trying to find, like, every way imaginable to trade Noah Fant. Like, he was just trying to get him off the team. And I was like, I think we kind of need him right now. Can you explain what over-under means in sports betting? Total number of points. So if the over-under for tonight was like 42, there were a total of 27 points scored, so that hits the under. Twitch tonight? I don't think I have time, JS. I'm probably gonna turn this stream off in not too long, but I got stuff to do tomorrow. If I did stream on Twitch, it would be for like an hour, and I don't think that's worth it. What can I do in Starfield in an hour? Not much. 5 best coaches in the NFL for you and 5 worst. 5 best. Probably Andy Reid. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Andy Reid. Sean McDermott. Does Belichick have a legacy position here or not? Harbaugh. Thank you, the truth is I know it. I appreciate that. Shanahan. And then either Belichick or McVay, I guess, but they're both kind of not doing too well right now. The worst coaches would be Dennis Allen, Eberflus, probably the Chargers guy, I guess, Staley. I think we're going to have to start throwing him in there because he's supposed to be the defensive guy, and the Chargers' defense sucks. Josh McDaniels. And Todd Bowles. Main focus next draft. I'm still inclined to say defensive line and linebacker, but interior offensive line, we might lose all of our interior offensive linemen this offseason. Do you practice sports or just watch? I don't really play very many sports anymore. When I do play, it's basketball. Basketball was always my sport. I played a ton of basketball when I was younger. Do you think JSN is putting up Puka numbers if he was on the Rams? Probably. But if he's on the Rams, they're not playing backup tackles. So it's a completely different context. So yeah. Would you take a job from the Seahawks if they offered you a position? Like, what are we talking here? A coach? Because I'm not qualified and I would immediately get fired. So only if it was like I get my money up front, no questions asked, and they can't get it back. I would get fired after one day when they realize I'm not remotely qualified. But if you're talking about something I could actually do, then sure. I liked Puka in college. I didn't think he was going to be like this, of course, but I did like Puka. I am happy he's good because he is a former Husky. Fun player. Why they draft Morris if they know he was injured in the past? Well, that's why you got him in the 5th round. If Morris didn't have the injury problem coming out of college, you wouldn't have gotten him in the 5th round. Would you rather have your current job or be a reporter for the Hawks? It depends on way too many variables. I imagine being a reporter for the Hawks. I mean, you can't just do that from home, is the thing. It's very important to me that I'm able to work from home right now. Thoughts on the Jamal injury? It seems like he's fine. I think he'll be back for the Bengals game. So how bad can it be? Yeah, Adams looked great to start. He was all over the place. He was getting pressure. He had the nice tackle. Everything was going good. And then, of course, the unluckiest possible thing has to happen. Thank you for your time, insight, taking questions, fandom, and commentary. Good luck to your Seahawks going forward. Stay happy, healthy, safe, and blessed. Thank you, Grandizer. What made him think Adams suffered a concussion? Because he got kneed in the helmet by Daniel Jones. AA, I think you mean 9 days, but yeah, exactly. Are we going to get a snap count Tuesday? Yes. Everything's going to get bumped back a day this week, which is good because we don't have a game this week, so I can afford to do that. And we don't even have a Huskies game. We don't have a Huskies game, and we don't have a Seahawks game. So this is going to be a slow couple weeks for the channel. All right. What's going on here? Yeah, I'm not going to be able to play it at launch, JS. There's too much going on. Like, I don't even think I'm going to finish Baldur's Gate by the time Spider-Man 2 comes out. I don't think I'm going to finish Starfield unless I just butt blast through it. And then there's other stuff I'm playing too. Like, I still want to go back to Animal Crossing. I'm doing some stuff off stream as well. Yeah, David, I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about that as well. Oh, yeah, Chala move, you have to. That's how these people communicate. Although it's not called Twitter anymore, it's called X, right? It's X. Honestly, given how much Daniel Jones got blasted from behind in this game, I'm surprised he didn't fumble more. I'm pretty impressed he didn't have like 6 fumbles in this game. Yeah, Dylan, you're right. What team has surprised you the most this year so far? I mean, do the Bengals count? Like, if I knew Burrow was going to be injured, I wouldn't have been that surprised. But I guess you could say maybe them. Dolphins, Rams are up there too, yeah. Are you streaming Baldur's Gate? I've streamed every time I played Baldur's Gate so far. I'm not doing it tonight. Probably what's going to happen is tomorrow after the Hawk's Nest stream, I'm probably going to go over and stream it. We're in Act 3, but there's a lot of game left, so I'm not planning on beating it anytime too soon. But yeah, I'm streaming my entire playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3. I'm co-oping it with my friend. Yeah, JS, hit me up on Twitch. Link down in the description. Yeah, Bucks aren't real. They're better than I thought they were going to be by a little bit maybe, but not that much. Although I gotta say, Baker Mayfield is making Brady look pretty bad last year. If Baker Mayfield is outplaying Tom Brady, like that's not a good sign for what Brady was doing last year. He really unretired for that. Sad, sad scene. Yeah, if Burrow keeps playing, I'm not really worried about him. It's a weird thing. I don't know what I would rather have. Would I rather play injured Burrow or would I rather play Jake Browning? I don't know what's better. How is Ryan Neal playing on the Bucks? Seems like he's playing pretty good, but I haven't been following. Definitely Jake. The thing is, Jake is healthy and actually has decent pocket mobility and general mobility. Burrow can't move at all. Browning can at least move. I'm not convinced it's an easy choice. All Burrow can really do is check it down and throw short timing patterns. I have no idea what Cansey's done in Tampa so far. I know he got hurt, but I think he's played. I just don't know if he's done anything. Do you think Trey Brown is a long-term option to pair up with Witherspoon and Woolen? Probably not. Probably not. He's decent, but I'm sure he's the kind of guy you try to replace in the draft. I feel bad for Daniel Jones. I kind of do too. All right, guys. I think it's time we wrap this up. Attendance is starting to go down. It's late. It's about 11:30. So I think it's about time I start wrapping the show up. Thank you, everybody, for showing up tonight. I had a lot of fun. Great stream. Thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you to everybody who liked. Thank you to everybody who donated or supported in any way. Awesome stuff. Seahawks get the big win, and we're moving on to bigger and better things tomorrow. I got a video going up tomorrow morning. We're going to get through our usual stuff throughout the week. Hope to see you guys for those videos. And yeah, life is good. So, hope you guys are having a good time. Better than 3 weeks ago. Excuse me. Better than 3 weeks ago, that's for sure. All right. See you guys tomorrow.